Hey! Oh, you're here. Come sit with us. We're just talking about something that happened yesterday. I went to a restaurant, right? The server walked up to me and asked something super simple. I completely froze. My mind just went blank. I stood there like I forgot how to speak.
Oh no, Blade. That happens to everyone. I remember one time I needed a napkin, just a napkin, but I forgot the word completely, so I just pointed at the table like this and smiled. The server looked so confused. I felt so embarrassed.
See, it's that specific restaurant nervousness. You walk in, you sit down, and suddenly your brain stops working. But here's the thing, restaurants are everywhere. Airports, hotels, new cities, road trips. You can't avoid them. And honestly, knowing what to say makes the whole experience feel less like a test and more like just a normal part of life.
Exactly. And it's not about memorizing perfect sentences or sounding like a native speaker. It's about having a few comfortable phrases that work in most situations. That's it. Once you have those, you feel so much more relaxed.
So, today we're walking through a full restaurant visit together, from the moment you arrive to the moment you pay and leave. We'll use real examples, natural back and forth, the kind of English you actually hear in restaurants.
We're keeping everything simple, clear, and totally doable because restaurant English really isn't complicated once you hear it in action a few times. It just needs to feel familiar.
And by the end, you'll feel ready to actually enjoy your meal instead of rehearsing sentences in your head the whole time. Let's start. So, Zara, what's your favorite type of restaurant? Like, if you could pick anywhere to eat tonight, where would you go?
I love small Italian places. You know, the ones with red tablecloths and bread baskets on every table. There's something so warm about those places. The smell of garlic, the soft music in the background. It just feels cozy.
Oh, I love that. I'm more of a noodle person, honestly. Anything with soup and chopsticks feels like home to me. Big bowls of ramen, pho, udon. I could eat noodles every single day and never get bored.
That's so you. Do you usually go with friends or do you go alone sometimes?
Mostly with friends, but sometimes I go alone when I need quiet time. You know those days when you just want to sit, eat slowly and think. At first it felt a little awkward eating alone, but now I actually like it.
I totally get that. I used to feel so weird eating by myself, like everyone was watching me. But now I bring a book, order something I really like, and it feels peaceful. It's my time.
Oh, speaking of awkward restaurant moments, my friend once ordered 3 appetizers by accident. She didn't know the difference between starter and main course, so the server brought out 3 small plates, and she was like, "Wait, where's the real food?"
Oh no, that reminds me I once told a server, I want a plate. I meant to say, I want to order, but I was so nervous. The server just stared at me like, what does she mean? I felt so embarrassed.
See? It's funny how one wrong word can make everything feel so big in the moment, but then later it's just a story you laugh about, like it didn't actually matter at all.
Exactly. You know, I've been thinking about how much easier it is when you know what to expect. Like, if you know the server will ask, "Are you ready to order?" then you don't panic when it actually happens. You just feel ready.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's all about patterns. And honestly, restaurants follow the same flow almost everywhere, which actually makes them easier than random conversations on the street.
That's such a good point. Once you know the script, you can relax. You're not guessing anymore.
Right, and that's exactly what we're going to walk through today, step by step.
Okay, so let's walk through this. Most restaurant visits start the same way. You walk in and someone greets you right away, usually at a little stand near the door.
Yes, and the first thing you'll hear is something like, how many people, or table for how many. They're just asking how big your group is. A simple answer works perfectly. 2, please, or just 1. That's all you need to say.
Exactly. And sometimes they ask, do you have a reservation? If you don't, you can just say, no, we don't. Do you have a table available? That last part is helpful because it shows you're asking politely, not assuming they have space.
Right, I learnt that one the hard way. I once walked into a busy place and just said, table for 2? The host looked at me and said, it's about 20 minutes. I wasn't expecting that at all. So now I know sometimes you have to wait.
So what do you usually say when that happens?
I say, okay, we can wait if I'm really hungry, or sometimes we'll come back later if I don't feel like standing around. It depends on the day, honestly, and how hungry I am.
Fair enough. Okay, so once you're seated, the server usually brings a menu. They'll say something like, here's the menu, I'll be back in a few minutes. And that's the moment I used to panic.
Oh, same. I'd try to read everything super fast like it was a test. My eyes would jump from page to page. I'd feel so much pressure to decide quickly.
I still do that sometimes. But honestly, it's okay to take your time. Servers expect it. They know people need a few minutes to look and think. If they come back and you're not ready, you can just say, we need a few more minutes, please.
That's such a useful phrase. It buys you space without feeling awkward. And it's also totally okay to ask questions about the menu, like, what's in this dish? Or is this spicy?
Yes, or does this come with rice? Or is this vegetarian? Those questions are super normal. Servers hear them all the time. They're used to it.
Exactly. Asking questions doesn't make you look confused. It just means you want to make a good choice. And honestly, I'd rather ask than order something I don't actually like.
Same. Okay, so now let's talk about ordering. This is the part most people worry about, but it's actually pretty straightforward once you hear the pattern.
The server usually starts with, are you ready to order? Or what can I get for you? And you can start your answer with, yes, I'd like, and then just say the dish name. Super simple.
You can also say, can I have, or I'll have. All 3 work perfectly. They're just different ways to say the same thing. Pick whichever one feels most comfortable to you.
I actually tried saying, I want the chicken once, and it felt a little too direct. Not rude, just not as smooth. So now I stick with, I'd like, or can I have? It sounds friendlier.
That's a good observation. Small words like I'd like really do make everything sound softer and more polite. It's one of those tiny things that makes a big difference.
Okay, real question. What do you do if you can't pronounce the dish name, like it's in French or Italian or something?
Oh, I just point at the menu and say, I'll have this one, please. Done. No stress. It works every time.
That's actually really smart. I've done that too, and honestly, it's not embarrassing at all. The server doesn't care how you order, they just want to know what you want.
Exactly. Okay, drinks. The server usually asks, what would you like to drink? Sometimes before you order food, sometimes after. It depends on the place.
You can answer with water, please, or I'd like orange juice, or just tea, thank you. Really straightforward. But here's something that confused me once. They asked still or sparkling.
Oh, I didn't know what that meant the first time I heard it either. I just stared at the server like, what are you asking me?
Right. So still means regular water, no bubbles, and sparkling means water with bubbles, like the fizzy kind. Once you know that, it's easy.
Thank you for explaining that. It's one of those small things that can really confuse you if no one tells you what it means.
Okay, so now you've ordered, the food comes, you're eating, what happens next?
Usually the server comes by at some point and asks, how is everything? Or is everything okay? They're just checking in. You can say, yes, it's great, thank you. Or everything's good. Simple and friendly.
And if something's actually wrong, like the food is cold or they forgot something, you can say, Actually, this is cold, or I asked for no onions. You don't have to apologize a lot, just be clear and polite.
Exactly. I once got the wrong dish. The server brought chicken, but I ordered fish. I just said, I think this isn't mine, and they fixed it right away. No big deal.
See? You don't have to overcomplicate it. Just say what you need and they'll help you.
Okay, what about when you need something during the meal, like more water, or extra napkins, or another fork?
Good question. You can catch the server's attention by making eye contact and raising your hand slightly. Not waving like crazy, just a small signal. Once they come over, you say, "Can I have more water, please?" Or, "Could we get some napkins?"
Excuse me is also a polite way to start. Like, excuse me, can I have... I use that one all the time.
Same. I once needed ketchup and just said, "Ketchup, please?" It worked, but adding "can I have" makes it sound more complete, more natural.
Sometimes simple is fine, but it's nice to have options. You can pick what feels right in the moment.
All right, so eventually you finish eating. The server will come by and ask, "Are you finished?" or "Can I take this?"
If you're done, just say, "Yes, thank you," or "Yes, please." If you're still eating, you can say, "Not yet, I'm still working on it." I really like that phrase. It sounds so natural.
It does. And then sometimes they ask, "Would you like to see the dessert menu?" You can say, "Yes, please," if you want dessert, or "No, thank you, just the check."
Wait, check, is that the same as bill?
Yes, check is more common in American English, bill is more British English, but they both mean the same thing. It's the paper that shows what you owe. Servers understand both words, so you can use whichever one you prefer.
Got it. I've heard both, so that's good to know they're interchangeable.
Okay, final step, paying. This is the very last thing. You usually say, "Can we have the check, please?" or "the bill, please?" In some places, they bring it automatically. In others, you have to ask.
Right, and once you get it, you can pay at the table or at the front counter. It depends on the restaurant. Just look around and see what other people are doing or ask the server.
Oh, and tipping. That's different in every country, so it's worth checking what's normal where you are. In some places, the tip is already included in the bill. In others, you leave extra money.
Exactly. You don't have to stress about it. Just do what feels right based on the local custom. Knowing these little cultural pieces helps you feel more confident overall.
Okay, Zara, real talk. What part of the restaurant experience do you think people find hardest?
Probably ordering, because you have to speak clearly and make quick decisions. There's this pressure to know exactly what you want and say it correctly.
I agree, but once you practice a few times, it gets so much easier. Like, the first time is scary, the second time is a little less scary, by the fifth time you're not even thinking about it anymore.
That's so true. And it's also okay to ask the server to repeat something if you didn't understand. Like if they said something too fast or you missed a word.
Yes, sorry, can you say that again is a perfectly normal thing to say. Servers don't mind at all. They'd rather repeat it than have you confused.
That's such a helpful reminder. You don't have to pretend you understood everything. It's okay to ask.
Okay, we've covered a lot, so now let's go through some of the most useful words and phrases from everything we just talked about. These are the ones that will actually come up again and again in real situations.
Exactly. Think of this as your restaurant toolkit. Once you know these, you're pretty much ready for anything.
All right, first one, reservation. A reservation is when you book a table in advance, usually by phone or online. So you're telling the restaurant, "I'm coming at this time, save me a spot." Example, "I made a reservation for 6 o'clock."
Perfect. Next one, table for two. This is how you tell the host how many people are with you. Super simple. You just say, table for two, please, or table for four, whatever your group size is.
Right, and here's a useful one. Available. Available means free or open. So if you walk in without a reservation, you can ask, do you have a table available? It's polite and it shows you're asking about space, not demanding it.
I love that one. Okay, next, menu. The menu is the list of food and drinks the restaurant offers. Usually it's a big card or booklet. Example, can I see the menu, please?
Good. Now let's talk about appetizer and main course. An appetizer is a small dish you eat before the main meal, like a salad or soup or some bread. The main course is the big dish, the center of your meal. Example, I'll have the salad as an appetizer and the pasta as my main course.
Nice. And don't forget side dish. A side dish is something small that comes with the main course, like fries, rice, vegetables, coleslaw. Example, does this come with a side dish? That question helps you understand what you're actually getting.
Yes, that's really helpful. Okay, here's one that matters if you don't like spicy food. Spicy means food with hot peppers or strong heat. You know, the kind that makes your mouth burn a little. Example, is this dish spicy?
That's a good one to know before you order. And here's another, vegetarian. Vegetarian describes food with no meat, so no chicken, no beef, no fish, just vegetables, grains, beans, things like that. Example, do you have vegetarian options?
Okay, Zara, real talk. What part of the restaurant experience do you think people find hardest?
Probably ordering, because you have to speak clearly and make quick decisions. There's this pressure to know exactly what you want and say it correctly.
I agree, but once you practice a few times, it gets so much easier. Like, the first time is scary, the second time is a little less scary, by the fifth time you're not even thinking about it anymore.
That's so true. And it's also okay to ask the server to repeat something if you didn't understand. Like if they said something too fast or you missed a word.
Yes, sorry, can you say that again is a perfectly normal thing to say. Servers don't mind at all. They'd rather repeat it than have you confused.
That's such a helpful reminder. You don't have to pretend you understood everything. It's okay to ask.
Okay, we've covered a lot, so now let's go through some of the most useful words and phrases from everything we just talked about. These are the ones that will actually come up again and again in real situations.
Exactly. Think of this as your restaurant toolkit. Once you know these, you're pretty much ready for anything.
All right, first one, reservation. A reservation is when you book a table in advance, usually by phone or online. So you're telling the restaurant, I'm coming at this time, save me a spot. Example, I made a reservation for 6 o'clock.
Perfect. Next one, table for two. This is how you tell the host how many people are with you. Super simple. You just say, table for two, please, or table for four, whatever your group size is.
Right, and here's a useful one. Available. Available means free or open. So if you walk in without a reservation, you can ask, do you have a table available? It's polite and it shows you're asking about space, not demanding it.
I love that one. Okay, next, menu. The menu is the list of food and drinks the restaurant offers. Usually it's a big card or booklet. Example, can I see the menu, please?
Good. Now let's talk about appetizer and main course. An appetizer is a small dish you eat before the main meal, like a salad or soup or some bread. The main course is the big dish, the center of your meal. Example, I'll have the salad as an appetizer and the pasta as my main course.
Nice. And don't forget side dish. A side dish is something small that comes with the main course, like fries, rice, vegetables, coleslaw. Example, does this come with a side dish? That question helps you understand what you're actually getting.
Yes, that's really helpful. Okay, here's one that matters if you don't like spicy food. Spicy means food with hot peppers or strong heat. You know, the kind that makes your mouth burn a little. Example, is this dish spicy?
That's a good one to know before you order. And here's another, vegetarian. Vegetarian describes food with no meat, so no chicken, no beef, no fish, just vegetables, grains, beans, things like that. Example, do you have vegetarian options?
Perfect. All right, remember earlier we talked about water, still or sparkling. Still water is regular, flat water, no bubbles. Sparkling water has bubbles, like soda, but without flavor. Example, still water, please.
I love that you're including that one. It confused me so much the first time I heard it. I had no idea what they were asking.
Same. Okay, next, check or bill. This is the paper that shows how much you need to pay at the end of the meal. Check is more American, bill is more British, but both work everywhere. Example, can we have the check, please?
And here's a related one, tip. A tip is extra money you leave for the server as a thank you for good service. In some countries, it's expected. In others, it's optional. Example, I'll leave a tip on the table.
Good. Now let's do a few phrases you'll use all the time. First, can I have? This is a polite way to ask for something. Example, can I have more water? Or can I have a fork? It's friendly and clear.
Love it. And here's another one. I'd like. This is another polite way to order or ask for something. Example, I'd like the chicken, please. Or I'd like a glass of juice. It sounds really natural.
Yes, and one more, excuse me. You use this phrase to politely get someone's attention, like when you need to call the server over. Example, excuse me, can I have the menu? It's gentle and respectful.
These phrases work in almost every restaurant situation. Seriously, if you know these, you can handle most of what comes up. They're worth remembering.
Totally. And the good news is, once you use them a few times, they start to feel automatic. You won't even have to think about it anymore. Your brain will just know what to say.
And that's the whole point, right? We want this to feel easy, natural, not like you're translating in your head every time.
Exactly. All right, let's keep going.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Now it's time to think about where you might actually use all of this, not just in theory, like in your real life.
Yes, because restaurants aren't just about special occasions. They're part of normal life. If you're traveling and you're in a new city, you'll probably eat out at least once, right? Maybe multiple times.
Exactly. And even ordering room service in a hotel uses the same language. You're calling down to the front desk or the kitchen, and it's basically the same phrases we've been talking about.
I love room service. I once stayed in a hotel and called down to order breakfast. I said, "Can I have scrambled eggs and toast, please?" It felt just like talking to a restaurant server. Same flow, same words.
See? That's such a good point. Once you know the patterns, they work everywhere. Hotels, cafes, airports, train stations, it's all connected.
Okay, let's make this even more real. Imagine this. You're sitting in a small cafe in a city you've never been to before. Maybe you're traveling alone, or maybe you're on a work trip. The server walks over with a menu. What do you say?
Okay, so when I first arrive, I say, "Table for one, please." They take me to a table. Then the server brings the menu and says, "I'll be back in a few minutes." But they come back too quickly. So I say, "Can I have a few more minutes, please?"
Exactly. That's totally natural. You're not panicking, you're not apologizing too much, you're just asking for what you need. And you might also want to ask, what do you recommend? That's a great way to start a conversation with the server and maybe discover something new.
I love that phrase. It's simple, but it also feels confident, like you're trusting the server's opinion. You're not just stuck staring at the menu, feeling lost.
Right, it shows you're open and curious, not scared. And honestly, servers usually love that question because they get to share their favorite dishes.
Okay, what if you're not eating alone? Let's say you're with a friend or a colleague. You might need to say things like, I'll have the same, or can we share this?
Yes, those little phrases make group ordering so much easier. I remember once, my friend ordered something that looked amazing when it arrived. I just said, I'll have that too, and it worked perfectly. No stress, no overthinking.
Sometimes copying is the easiest strategy, but it's also okay to ask your friend, what are you getting, before you decide. It takes the pressure off. You're not alone in making the choice.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about mistakes, because everyone messes up sometimes, and that's completely okay.
So imagine this. You order something, but when it arrives, it's not what you expected. Maybe you wanted soup, but they brought you salad. What do?
You just politely say, I think there's been a mistake. I ordered the soup, not the salad. Simple as that.
Yes, and restaurants want you to be happy. So speaking up isn't rude. It's normal. It's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. I used to stay quiet when something was wrong because I didn't want to bother anyone. But now I realize that's literally what servers are there for. They'd rather fix the problem than have you sitting there unhappy.
That's such an important shift in mindset. You're allowed to ask for what you need. You're not being difficult. You're just being clear.
Yes, and here's the thing. Confidence comes from practice. The more you do this, even just in your head, the easier it gets.
I used to rehearse my order before the server came. Like, I'd read the menu and repeat it to myself quietly. And honestly, that helped so much.
Same. I still do that sometimes when I'm nervous. Now I don't need to rehearse as much, but it's still a useful tool when you're feeling unsure. There's nothing wrong with preparing a little bit.
Visualization works too. If you imagine yourself ordering clearly and calmly, your brain starts to believe you can actually do it. It's like a mental rehearsal.
That's so true. And here's what I want everyone listening to know. Every time you successfully order a meal or ask for the check or request more water, you're proving to yourself that you can handle real-life English situations. You're building evidence that you're capable.
Yes, and it's not just about language. It's about realizing you belong in that space, and you can navigate it just like anyone else. You're not an outsider, you're just a person having a meal.
Ah, exactly. You deserve to feel comfortable. You deserve to enjoy your food without anxiety. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
So next time you're in a restaurant, remember, you've got this. You know what to say, you know what to expect, and even if something unexpected happens, you can handle it.
You really can, and we're here walking through it with you, step by step. Okay, we've covered a lot today, so let's go over the main steps one more time, just so everything stays clear in your mind.
Yes, first step, you walk in. Someone greets you and asks how many people. You just say, table for 2, or just 1, please. Super simple.
Right, and if they ask about a reservation, you can say, no, do you have a table available? That shows you're polite and asking, not assuming.
Perfect. So once you're seated, you look at the menu. Take your time. When the server comes back and asks, are you ready to order? You say, yes, I'd like, or can I have, and then the dish name.
Exactly. And remember, it's totally okay to ask questions. What's in this? Or is this spicy? Or does this come with rice? Servers expect those questions. They're there to help you.
Yes. Then, during the meal, the server might check in and say, how is everything?
A simple, everything's great, thank you, works perfectly. You don't need to say much.
And if you need something, more water, extra napkins, a fork, you can say, "Excuse me, can I have more water?" Or, "Could we get some napkins?" Just polite and clear.
Right, and when you're finished eating, you ask for the check. Can we have the check, please? Then you pay, leave a tip if it's customary where you are, and you're done.
See, it's really not that complicated once you see the whole flow laid out like that.
The beautiful thing about restaurant language is that it's predictable. It follows the same pattern almost everywhere you go.
Exactly. Once you know the flow, you don't have to think about it as much. You just move through it naturally. It starts to feel automatic.
And every time you order a meal in English, you're building real-world experience that actually matters. You're not just learning words, you're learning how to live confidently in English.
Yes, and it's not about being perfect. It's about being clear, polite, and present. That's all you need.
You have everything you need now to walk into a restaurant and handle the whole experience from start to finish. I believe that completely.
Same. And honestly, soon ordering in English will feel as easy as ordering in your first language. That shift happens faster than most people expect.
It really does. You'll surprise yourself.
Okay, I have a question for you. Leaning in slightly, what's one dish you really want to try and where would you order it?
Smiling. Ooh, I'm curious too.
It could be anywhere, a cafe in your city, a restaurant you saw online, or a place you dream about visiting one day. There's no wrong answer. I'd just love to hear what you're excited about.
Maybe it's pasta in Italy, or tacos in Mexico, or ramen in Japan, or something totally unexpected. Whatever it is, we want to know.
Yes, food connects people, and sharing what you want to try is a great way to connect with others who are also learning and exploring. So leave a comment below and tell us.
And if this video helped you feel more confident about restaurant English, a like really supports us and helps other learners find it too.
We post new conversations every week, so subscribing means you won't miss the next one. We've got so much more coming.
Smiling warmly. See you soon and happy ordering.
Waving gently. Take care.